My name is Emily Parker. I grew up in a quiet suburb just outside Chicago, raised in what many would call a picture-perfect family. My dad, Mark Parker, was a well-respected high school teacher, and my mom, Karen, ran a small local bakery. From the outside, we looked like the kind of family you'd see in a commercial, smiling, loving, and always there for one another. But as I got older, I started noticing little cracks in that perfect image. It started with small things. My mom would come home later than usual from the bakery. She'd brush it off with a smile, saying there was a last-minute order or a new supplier she had to meet. Dad, ever the patient and supportive husband, never questioned her. He just gave her a kiss and helped set the table for dinner like nothing was wrong. But I could feel it, something was off. I was 17 when I stumbled across the first clue. One night, I went to grab my mom's phone from the counter to call a friend. Mine had died and a message popped up. It was from someone named Jay. The message was short but strange. Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. My stomach twisted. I didn't say anything. I just handed her the phone and went to my room. For days, I couldn't shake the feeling. Who was Jay? Why would someone text her something so intimate? I started paying attention more closely. She'd laugh when texting, then quickly tuck her phone away if I or Dad walked in. She started putting on more makeup before heading to work. And Dad, he never suspected a thing. He was the same loving, trusting man he always had been. That made it worse. I kept her secret for months, not because I wanted to protect her, but because I didn't know how to break my dad's heart. I hoped maybe it was just a phase or something that would pass. But things only escalated. Then one weekend, while my mom was supposedly away at a baking conference, I decided to stay home instead of going to my friend's lake house. My dad had planned to spend the weekend fixing up the garage, and I figured I'd keep him company. Saturday night, around 9 p.m., Dad and I were watching an old movie when his phone buzzed. He looked confused when he saw the name on the screen. Jake. Why would Jake be texting me this late? He said, referring to one of my mom's newer suppliers. Curiosity and anxiety took over. He opened the message. I watched his face drain of color. He sat silently for a few moments before getting up and walking to the kitchen. I followed him, heart pounding. What's wrong? I asked. He didn't look at me right away. Instead, he handed me the phone. The message read, I wish Karen could have spent the weekend with me. She says you never suspect a thing. I guess that's why it's been going on for so long. Silence filled the room. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the house. He finally spoke. How long have you known? Tears welled up in my eyes. I couldn't lie. Since spring, I whispered. I didn't know how to tell you. He looked hurt, not just by her betrayal, but by mine, too. You should have told me, he said softly. I nodded, ashamed. I know. I didn't want to hurt you. He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He just sat down, staring blankly at the floor. I sat beside him, and for a while, we just sat in silence. That moment, quiet and heavy, changed everything. The next few weeks were filled with hard conversations, tears, and eventually, a confrontation. Dad asked Mom about Jake. She denied it at first, but the truth was too big to stay buried. Eventually, she admitted to the affair. She cried, begged for forgiveness, blamed the stress of work, the monotony of marriage, but the damage was already done. My dad didn't yell. He didn't slam doors or throw things. He simply packed a bag and left that night. He moved into an apartment across town. I chose to stay with him. Not because I hated my mom, but because I needed space from her, from the lies, from everything. We never told anyone the full story. To the outside world, my parents needed time apart and were figuring things out. But the truth was, they never recovered. My dad filed for divorce quietly 6 months later. Today, years later, I still carry the weight of that secret. My relationship with my mom is distant but polite. She regrets what she did, but some things can't be undone. My dad and I are closer than ever, though the pain of that night still lingers between us in small ways. Sometimes I catch him staring out the window with that same blank expression he had the night he found out. I know he's remembering. This story isn't about casting blame or seeking pity. It's about truth, the kind we hide to protect the ones we love, and the kind that comes out whether we're ready or not. Infidelity doesn't just break hearts. It reshapes lives, especially when the truth is wrapped in the silence of a family trying to hold itself together. If you've ever been through something like this, you're not alone. And if you haven't, hold tight to those you love. Be honest. Communicate. Because sometimes the biggest betrayals are not the ones shouted, but the ones quietly swept under the rug until they're impossible to ignore.